A climate change conference entitled Vegan Organic for Prosperity and to Save the Planet from Climate Change was held on October 22, 2009 in Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia. The purpose of the conference was to raise awareness on the grave issues of global warming and the most effective and key solution to halt it in its tracks, the vegan diet. Participating dignitaries included Indonesia's Assistant Minister for Economics and Poverty Alleviation, Ms. Sri Hudiastudi. Also speaking as presenters were Ms. Kira Jamtani, an associate of the Third World Network based in Bali, Indonesia, Indonesian naval physician Dr. Anton Budiono, and Professor Aras Ananta, senior researcher at the Institute of Southeast Asian Studies in Singapore. Guest of honor Supreme Master Ching Hai graciously answered questions from the distinguished audience members on topics such as the vegan trend to stop global warming and ways to implement organic vegan farming. We now invite you to join us for part 1 of the 8-part rebroadcast of the video conference with Supreme Master Ching Hai entitled Vegan Organic for Prosperity and to Save the Planet from Climate Change, held on October 22, 2009 on Jakarta, Indonesia.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, greetings. Welcome to Indonesia. Selamat datang.
And we are both honored to be MCs of this special seminar entitled Vegan Organic for Prosperity and to Save the Planet from Climate Change.
This seminar is being jointly hosted by the Indonesian Ministry of Environment and the Supreme Master Ching Hai International Association.
Selamat datang. We would also like to extend an especially warm welcome to hundreds of government officials, IPCC scientists, environmental NGOs, journalists, and celebrities who have kindly taken time out of their, of course, busy schedules to attend this event. And in addition, we would like to wish a warm Indonesian welcome all Supreme Master television viewers tuning in live across 5 continents via 14 satellite platforms to share this moment with us.
It's very meaningful and timely for us to come together today to share information and discuss a solution to the adverse environmental issues which all beings on this planet are presently facing. Indonesia is one of the most resource-rich countries in the world and possesses beauty beyond one's imagination. But Indonesia has also been greatly affected by climate change in recent years, and we appreciate this valuable opportunity to hold this climate change seminar here to discuss solutions to this global crisis. This seminar is being held as part of the lead-up to the 31st Session Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, which will be held on the 26th of October 2009 in Bali, Indonesia.
Speaking of Bali, Indonesia, now we would like to present a traditional dance from Bali. Once again, I repeat, this dance is coming from Bali, Indonesia, genuinely. The title of the performance is Tari Pendet. Tari Pendet is a ritual dance that is usually performed in Balinese temples to welcome the gods before special ceremonies. The dance is presented here today by association members along with their friends as a welcome gesture to all of us present here, as well as to all the Supreme Master television live viewers that are with us here in spirit.
They also dance for the success of the IPCC Bali conference and hope our message from today's seminar will be delivered to the Bali conference delegates. Now, let's enjoy this very special Balinese performance. What a colorful dance! Thank you, Terrapin dancers, for such an enchanting performance. This Balinese dance gives a glimpse into the cultural richness that exists throughout the islands of Indonesia. These charming and special Balinese performers are all young members of the Supreme Master Qinghai International Association, who came here from Bali especially for us today.
Wow, along the way from Bali, right?
Let's give them another round of applause.
Thank you. And yes, we wish to protect this beautiful cultural heritage of Indonesia against severe climate change. We are very honored to have Indonesia's Staff of Ministry of Environment, Madam Sri Hudiastuti, here with us today. With great honor, we invite you, Madam Sri Hudiastuti, to share a few words to open our seminar. Let's welcome distinguished Madam Sri Hudiastuti with a warm round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Pertama-tama kami menyampaikan permohonan maaf karena kami, Kementerian Negara Lingkungan Hidup, tidak bisa menghadirkan Bapak Menteri karena persis pada jam ini ada pelantikan Menteri yang baru. Jadi kami mudah-mudahan nanti di kesempatan lain Ibu Bapak semua bisa ada kesempatan untuk ketemu dengan beliau-beliau. Mungkin bisa berdua-duanya, mantan Menteri Bapak Rahmat Witoelar maupun Menteri yang baru Bapak Gusti. Atas izin Ibu kami mohon maaf kalau beliau tidak bisa, dan mohon izin mungkin saya bisa menyampaikan sambutan beliau dalam seminar yang diadakan pada siang hari ini. Sambutan Menteri Negara Lingkungan Hidup. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita sekalian. Pertama-tama marilah kita panjatkan puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala karena atas izinnya seminar perubahan iklim menyambut IPCC Plenary Session yang ke-31 nanti dengan tema vegan organik untuk kemakmuran dan menyelamatkan dunia dari perubahan iklim ini dapat terselenggara. Selanjutnya, perkenankan saya menyampaikan penghargaan saya kepada saudara-saudara sekalian yang telah menyelenggarakan seminar ini, termasuk juga para narasumber serta hadirin yang telah meluangkan waktu untuk menghadiri acara pada hari ini. Para hadirin sekalian, sebagaimana kita ketahui bersama, sejak revolusi industri pada abad ke-19 telah terjadi peningkatan suhu permukaan bumi secara global. Peningkatan suhu permukaan bumi selain diakibatkan oleh emisi bahan bakar fosil, kerusakan hutan dan lahan juga diakibatkan oleh meningkatnya konsentrasi gas rumah kaca di atmosfer. Peristiwa ini kita kenal dengan global warming atau pemanasan global yang menyebabkan perubahan iklim dunia. Peningkatan panas bumi juga menyebabkan es di kutub mencair sehingga permukaan air laut meningkat dan dapat mengakibatkan tenggelamnya pulau-pulau kecil. Hal tersebut diperkuat berdasarkan hasil kajian Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change tahun 2007 bahwa sejak tahun 1990 hingga tahun 2005 Suhu rata-rata global telah meningkat antara 0,15 derajat hingga 0,3 derajat Celcius per dekade, sehingga kenaikan suhu global sampai tahun 2005 adalah 0,76 derajat Celcius. Sedangkan laju kenaikan muka air laut observasi dari abad ke-19 sampai ke-20 menunjukkan telah terjadi peningkatan, diperkirakan kenaikan total abad ke-20 sebesar 0,17 meter. Perubahan iklim saat ini sudah menjadi isu global di mana setiap orang sudah membicarakannya. Di tingkat internasional, di bawah payung United Nations Framework on Climate Change, hampir seluruh negara-negara di dunia melakukan pertemuan rutin guna menanggulangi masalah perubahan iklim bersama-sama. Indonesia sebagai salah satu negara anggota Konvensi Perubahan Iklim yang rentan terhadap perubahan iklim menyadari pentingnya kesiapan nasional dalam menghadapi dampak dari perubahan iklim. Untuk itu, pemerintah dalam membuat kebijakan nasional mulai memasukkan isu perubahan iklim ke dalam agenda pembangunan nasional. Salah satu contoh yang dapat kita ambil adalah Peraturan Presiden Nomor 5 Tahun 2006 tentang Kebijakan Energi Nasional. Dalam peraturan presiden tersebut diatur mengenai target penurunan konsumsi energi dari minyak bumi dan mendorong penggunaan energi alternatif. Selain itu, dalam instruksi presiden nomor 5 tahun 2008 tentang fokus program ekonomi tahun 2008 sampai 2009, pemerintah memberikan perhatian kepada pelaksanaan mekanisme pembangunan bersih dan reducing emission from deforestation and degradation in developing countries. Di tingkat nasional, di mana pelaksanaan kedua aktivitas tersebut merupakan kegiatan yang disepakati di tingkat internasional pula. Hadirin yang berbahagia, permasalahan perubahan iklim merupakan permasalahan dunia yang harus dihadapi secara bersama-sama. Kontribusi dari seluruh lapisan masyarakat mutlak diperlukan agar kita dapat menekan laju perubahan iklim. Setiap kalangan harus mulai mempertimbangkan aspek lingkungan di setiap aktivitasnya, baik itu instansi pemerintah, kalangan industri, lembaga swadaya masyarakat, dan masing-masing individu. Pola pikir yang peduli terhadap lingkungan perlu untuk ditanamkan sedini mungkin kepada generasi muda, dan juga gaya hidup ramah lingkungan perlu untuk dikedepankan. Banyak hal dapat kita lakukan sebagai individu yang dapat berkontribusi menekan laju emisi gas rumah kaca, seperti melakukan penanaman pohon, hemat energi, tidak menggunakan kendaraan bermotor untuk jarak tempuh yang tidak jauh, memaksimalkan pemanfaatan intensitas cahaya matahari dan sirkulasi udara yang baik untuk bangunan juga dapat berkontribusi menekan laju emisi gas rumah kaca. Para hadirin sekalian, pada hari ini kita dapat mengambil pelajaran dari kegiatan vegan organik, termasuk pertanian organik yang memperhatikan keberlangsungan lingkungan, seperti melakukan pola bercocok tanam dengan menggunakan pupuk kompos, tidak lagi menggunakan pupuk kimia. Kegiatan semacam ini perlu untuk dikembangkan karena manfaatnya tidak hanya untuk diri kita, tapi juga untuk generasi mendatang. Kita harus mulai menanamkan rasa peduli terhadap keberlangsungan lingkungan kita. Kita tidak bisa membiarkan permasalahan tersebut ditangani hanya oleh kalangan tertentu saja. Untuk itu, mulai dari sekarang kita tingkatkan pemahaman kita mengenai lingkungan dan mulailah bertindak dari hal kecil dari diri kita. Karena kita memiliki hanya satu bumi. Para hadirin sekalian, mengakhiri sambutan ini sekali lagi saya mengajak seluruh komponen bangsa untuk menyadari lebih dini mengenai dampak langsung dari pemanasan global dan kerusakan lingkungan. Pemanasan global dan kerusakan lingkungan hidup, sebagaimana saya katakan tadi, dapat menimbulkan berbagai dampak multidimensi dan berpengaruh besar pada sistem sosial dan ekonomi masyarakat. Sekali lagi, semoga seminar pada hari ini dapat semakin menyadarkan kita akan makna dan hakikat dari persoalan lingkungan hidup dan semakin meningkatkan kesiapsiagaan kita dalam menghadapi perubahan iklim yang akan terjadi. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, respected Ms. Sri, for being with us here today, and for all of you doing support of efforts to halt the environmental threats we are encountering.
The climate change crisis we are now experiencing is a great opportunity for us to work together to save our environment through immediate economical and effective solutions. Some of these solutions will be presented to us by today's speakers, and of course, all of whom are experts in their fields.
We will show how adopting more healthy and sustainable eating habits is the fastest and most effective solution to save the planet. Now, we'll present a video compilation highlighting the urgency with which we need to save the planet, as well as some of the most simple and cost-effective solutions.
Arctic sea ice reflects about 80% of the sun's heat, stabilizing the colder temperature of the ocean. Based on the latest satellite data cited in a December 2007 article, National Aeronautics and Space Administration climate scientist Jay Zawali predicts that nearly all the ice could be gone from the Arctic Ocean by the end of summer 2012. Arctic ice in September 2007 was 23% below previous record low from NASA satellite data and 50% below 1950 levels from ship data. Other records surpassed. Greenland surface ice loss is now 400% greater than 15 years ago. Surface temperatures in the Arctic are the highest in 77 years of record keeping. There is hope. According to James Hansen, top climate scientist at NASA, we have passed tipping points. We have not passed a point of no return. We can still roll things back, but it is going to require a quick turn in direction. Dr. Gerald Dickens, Associate Professor of Earth Science at the prestigious Rice University, located in Texas, USA, and Editor-in-Chief of the American Geophysical Union's Paleoceanography Journal, stated in an interview with Supreme Master Television.
But it turns out that most of the carbon, about 93% of it, is in the ocean, not trees or in the atmosphere. And so what's happening right now is we're adding a lot of carbon to the atmosphere, and it's coming in much faster than it can go into the biosphere or into the ocean. So that's why the CO2 is going up very, very quickly.
According to U.S. University of California Davis's newspaper, the California Aggie, published on March 4, 2008, U.S. professor says methane from Arctic lakes adds to global warming. In a talk presented at the University of California at Davis, Dr. Katie Walter, a professor of limnology and environmental research at the University of Alaska, stated that methane bubbling up from Arctic lakes is now being released into the atmosphere. This is due to melting of the lake's permafrost layers resulting from climate change. According to Dr. Walter, who has personally conducted Arctic lake research in areas such as Siberia, this phenomena causes further global warming because methane fuels its own production by melting even more permafrost layers once released. Research by Dr. Gregory Riskin at Northwestern University indicates that methane explosions from the ocean caused extinctions of 90% of marine species and 75% of land species 250 million years ago. In his report, Methane-Driven Oceanic Eruptions and Mass Extinctions, he explains how methane gas, which had been trapped in the stagnant waters, was released leading to the die-off of most marine and land life. Dr. Ritskin states, if it happened once, it could happen again.
Are we short of water? One serving of beef uses over 1,200 gallons of water. One serving of chicken uses 330 gallons of water. One complete vegan meal with tofu, rice, and vegetables uses only 98 gallons of water. Be veg, go green.
Are we short of food?
How many people in the world are hungry? $1.02 billion people.
Grain currently fed to livestock is enough to feed 2 billion people.
And I said already 80% of it will be cut almost immediately, and we can see the result in a few weeks. Because if we don't keep breeding more animals, then there are less methane, and if we don't eat meat, then there's no transportation necessary for it, and much less fuel needed, and all these people can be trained to do something else. And there will be less hunger because we will use the agricultural products, cereals, to feed humans instead of feeding more bred animals in the future. So we don't have hunger anymore, and there will be no more war because of hunger. So the effect is immense. Keep multiplying it, and then you know what I mean.
Be veg, go green.
Meat costs and vegan savings. A meat-free vegetarian diet drastically reduces carbon footprint. Over a one-year period, per person, emissions from a meat-based diet is equivalent to driving a mid-sized car 4,758 kilometers. Emissions from a vegetarian diet is equivalent to 2,427 kilometers, nearly 50% less. Emissions from an animal-free vegan diet is equivalent to 629 kilometers, 1/7 of the amount of a meat-based diet, or 87% less. Emissions from an organic vegan diet is 281 kilometers, 94% less emissions than that of a meat-based diet. Animal-free vegan diet can reduce greenhouse gases by up to 94%. Be veg, go green, save the planet. For more urgent details, please visit suprememastertv.com/SOS.
Organic farming, a sustainable solution. Organic soil management minimizes fossil fuel use, removes atmospheric CO2 emissions from the air. If organic practices were implemented on the planet's 3.5 billion tillable acres, nearly 40% of current CO2 emissions could be absorbed. Source: Rodale Institute, USA. Try organic today. Be veg, go green, save the planet. For more information, please visit suprememastertv.com/be-veg.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we have seen, the situation is becoming very severe. But we still have hope. And all we need to do is act now.
Yang pertama-tama perlu diperhatikan itu adalah peningkatan kepedulian. Peningkatan kepedulian masyarakat bahwa ada krisis pemanasan global. Sehingga kemudian diberikan pemahaman apa itu krisis pemahaman global, apa penyebabnya, dan kemudian apa yang bisa dilakukan untuk menanggulanginya. Ada berbagai cara yang dilakukan, bisa pemerintah yang melakukan, jadi dari sisi institusi bisa dilakukan, kemudian dari sisi organisasi, apakah merupakan sebuah kelompok seperti vegan organik ini ataupun kelompok-kelompok profesi lainnya, atau kita sebagai individu.
Thank you for your eco-friendly presence for today's episode of Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for part 2 of Vegan Organic for Prosperity and to Save the Planet from Climate Change. Music and poetry is coming up next, right after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. May God bless our planet with peace, friendship, and harmony.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW.